Mohammed Muizzu is a man in a hurry. Most leaders would ease into their new roles, but not the Maldivian president. He's all about speed, a bit like those Instagram challenges that you see, weight loss in 60 days or better skin in 2 weeks. Except here, the stakes are much higher. And the cost of failure very steep. So let me tell you about Muizzu's latest move. He has bought surveillance drones from Turkey. How many is not clear, but reports say it's Turkey's flagship machine, the Bayraktar TB2 drone. Each one costs around $5 million. Apparently, they were delivered on the 3rd of March, and they will be stationed here on the island of Mafaru. Their job is surveillance, to keep track of the Maldivian EEZ. That's Exclusive Economic Zone, EEZ. And we are talking about a very large area here, almost 1 million square kilometers of it. Until now, India and the Maldives surveyed this EEZ together, but now President Muizzu wants to do it alone. He's been hinting at this for a while. In November last year, Muizzu traveled to Turkey. It was his first foreign trip as president. And there he signed a weapons deal. He set aside $37 million from the contingency budget. I know it's strange. Killer drones are not a contingency for most countries, but for Muizzu, they are. Because his plan is to boost domestic defense, to survey Maldivian waters alone.
I believe that the modern military capability to defend the country by road, sea and air should be strengthened in the Maldives. We have started to do that now, if God wills. The Maldivian Defense Force will soon be able to conduct the surveillance of the 900 square kilometer exclusive economic zone of the Maldives, 24 hours a day.
Well, that day is almost here. Reports say the drones will be deployed next week. So Malé won't need India anymore. Of course, that's their strategic choice. Even India buys drones from the global market. But look at the larger picture here. Look at how fast Muizzu is pivoting. He was sworn in as president on the 17th of November last year. And since then, it's been one anti-India move after another. First, he asked Indian soldiers to leave. Then he picked Turkey for his maiden foreign trip. In doing so, he broke years of tradition. Then his ministers mocked the Indian Prime Minister. He visited China before India, signed a military deal with Beijing, and now he's bought lethal drones from Turkey. What's the common thread here? His opposition to India. And we need to be clear about that. This is not about keeping his options open. This is also not about strategic depth. This is about poking India. As we speak, a Chinese spy vessel is docked in the Maldives, the Xiang Yang Hong 3. India has opposed such voyages by Chinese ships in the Indian Ocean, but Muizzu doesn't care. So don't mistake this for strategic autonomy. And I'll give you 2 reasons why. We know that India is trying to diversify its defense purchases, to not buy weapons from only Russia. But how is India doing that? Not by using slogans against Russia, not by mocking the Russian president, and not by rapidly moving away from Moscow. It's a slow and gradual process. And most importantly, it's not a hostile breakup with Russia. New Delhi wants to preserve its ties with Moscow. That is called keeping your options open. Muizzu is doing the exact opposite. A, he's moving away from India, and B, he's making things hostile, which means he's not interested in preserving this relationship. Secondly, there's a double standard here. On the campaign trail, Muizzu talked about Maldivian sovereignty. He criticized what he called the opaque deals between New Delhi and Malé. But as president, what does he do? Sign opaque deals with China. So clearly, sovereignty is not Muizzu's problem. India is. He's preparing for a future without New Delhi. Consider his healthcare policy. A lot of Maldivians come to India for advanced treatment. Muizzu wants to change that. His policy allows them to visit hospitals in the UAE and Thailand. The downside? The distance. They're much farther away. Same with food imports. Muizzu has signed deals to increase trade with China. He says it will end dependence on one country. No prizes for guessing which one. Tourism is a similar story. Maldives has reported a 33% drop in Indian travelers. Last year, India was the second largest source of tourists to this country. This year, India has dropped to number 6. Some 27,000 Indians have visited the Maldives in 2024 so far. 27,000 Indians. The number for China is 54,000. You can write all this down to Muizzu's rhetoric and expect it to increase in the coming days. Because the Maldives has parliamentary elections next month, Muizzu will be betting on the India Out slogan to secure a majority. It's a good election strategy in the short term, but as long-term political call, maybe not.